What kind of artist are you, and why am I even asking you this question? Well, I'm asking you this question because I think it is really important. I would even go so far as to say it will help you make your dreams come true. And I think it also might help protect you from judgment from others and from yourself. My name is Ann Livingston, and I am a full-time color-focused artist, and this channel is for people who want to take their art practice to the next level. One way to level up is to get very clear on what you are about, and I think the best way to get clear is to ask yourself questions. And so I'm here to ask you some questions to help you get some clarification in your own head about what's important to you when it comes to making art. Telling people you're an artist is weirdly loaded, isn't it? I mean, some people will take it at face value or go ahead and be envious or say, I'm an artist too. But there are a lot of people who are, I don't know, doubters. When I decided to take my practice full time about 7 years ago, I remember talking to a friend of mine who already was a professional artist. And I sort of tentatively told her my plan, my idea that I was, going to take this step. And she was very validating. And I have to say, it meant the world to me. It's kind of like, oh, this person represents the art world, and they've basically opened up the gate, the gatekeepy gate. But she's not a gatekeeper, but I just had this feeling of, okay, I'm allowed to be here. And then I have another memory of another friend who has been going at it about as long as I have. And she's been really committed to it, really coming back to her work over and over and over again. I know that she was concerned that people didn't think that her work was, the fine art style. And we were on a walk one day and I just said to her, you're a real artist. And she was really moved, I think that maybe there was a little doubt there. And for me, there was not a doubt, but I had a feeling there was a doubt for her. So I'm super glad I said that. And so I guess I really, I have a not so hidden agenda today. I want to tell you that regardless of what your answers are, when I ask you certain questions on this little quiz, your answers are valid, because the term artist has so many potential categories, so many potential looks. In fact, probably infinite, or at least the same number of people that exist, or something like that. Like anybody could become an artist at some point, right? And it's not going to look the same on everybody. Okay, that's enough buildup. Let's do it. Okay, if you want, you can get out a pencil or a pen if you're the kind of person who likes to jot things down, or if you want to just take in the questions and then do a gut check with yourself, that's totally possible too. So let's do it. The reason why I decided to come up with this quiz is because some friends and I oftentimes go through this conversation where we're trying to figure out where we fit in the continuum being over here, it is, my work is showing at museums and I'm going to go into history books versus I'm doing this for fun and it brings me great joy. Or over here could also be, I think it's cool. I'm making merch, I'm making money, and I can be creative while doing it. This is great. So it's like huge range, right? And so, and I think that where I land on that continuum changes. So I'll tell you where I am today. And if you feel so inclined, I would love it if you wrote in the comments what you think is going on with you these days. Like, where are you right now? And I feel like it is a vulnerable thing for me to tell you where I am right now, just as I'm sure you will feel rather vulnerable writing about it in the comments. And I would say that making art and showing it publicly is also vulnerable. So we are in the business of sharing of ourselves one way or another. And so yeah, just throwing it out there, but you do not have to share it if you don't want to. So, okay, so I would say that based on these questions that I am a passionate professional full-time who makes art out of absolute necessity. It is my number one thing. Like I'm obsessed, and I have been for a really long time. And as far as this category of like being on that continuum, I feel like my work belongs in a couple of different places. I am not above doing work that I feel like could appeal to many. Like, for example, making tote bags, that's merch. And at the same time, I'm a very conceptual person. And even that tote bag was kind of conceptual for me. And I just finished an MFA, and I really thought that I was going to become a part-time professor at some point, just at, local community colleges. And it was really through the process of finishing my thesis and working with other people in higher academia that made me think twice about, do I really belong here? I'm still not sure. I think I probably don't. And it's a complicated reason why, but I don't know if that's where I will be best of use, I guess you could say. And I think I might be miserable, even though I always kind of hoped that I could be teaching at a higher ed level. I've taught, the lower grades, younger people, but I kind of always thought that that teaching adults would be something that I wanted to do. And I do that now. It's just not at a college or at a community college. So that was a long rambling thing. So I think that I have a little bit of a foot in some kind of fine art world in my local community. But that foot is just barely there because, I'm not represented by a gallery. I'm not even sure if I ever will be. And I'm not sure if I want to be. Like, I think I want to be, but I'm constantly questioning, like, why, because is it for validation? Um, I think I think that I don't need that validation. After years of reflection on this, I think that that is true. But I do like the idea of having a community that is just whole hog into this art space. So I do go to lots of galleries in my city. And in the back of my mind, I do think like, oh, is this a place where I feel comfortable? You know, um, I just sort of see how it feels there. How are people talking to each other? What kind of art is showing there? Would my work even belong there? And when I say my work, I'm usually thinking like my future work. I think about where I'm headed with like the level of my skills. And so um, I do think that maybe someday there would be fine art in my future, fine art gallery situation. Um, And as far as like outsider art, punk aesthetic, I feel like um, it's almost like I'm not outsidery enough. Like I'm not, even though I really resonate with a punk sensibility. I mean, look at me. I don't know. I'm just like this friendly, sort of goofy person who, yeah, like, yeah, it just seems like whenever I am involved with uh kind of more alternative punk outsider art things that I don't fully feel like I belong. And so I listen to that, I am still kind of looking for where I belong in various ways. But I really believe in creating the place that you want to be or making the fun that you want to have. So let me explain. Um, okay, let's take it all the way back to high school. When I was growing up, let's say middle school, whatever, I definitely was one of those people who was mystified with how people knew how to be cool, or, popular, etc. I would just kind of watch people to understand how they be people. And so um uh and yeah, I think I initially really wanted to be accepted in these groups because they seemed to be having a lot of fun and they did seem very cool to me, and I was just painfully aware of the fact that I did not feel like I belonged there at all. And then something happened. I don't know. I can't even remember how old I was when it happened. I was probably like 15 or 16, and I just had this epiphany that I needed to just make my own fun. And I needed to have fun wherever I was, with whomever I was with. Like this thing of needing it to be like this person in order for it to be okay. I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like, we're all people. Like, people know how to have a good time. Like, let me just, I don't know, let me just enjoy where I am and hang out with these people that I'm already with, and stop worrying about it, or make new friends that might be a little bit more approachable, and just look for good times, And it worked. It totally worked. I had a really good time, and I think I continue to do this. If I find myself in a situation where it's like a clique, a clique of people, like a group of people who there's an air of exclusivity around them. Obviously, for a minute, I'm like, oh, I wish I was part of that, But one way or another, I eventually get to the place of, I want to create the thing that I want to have. And the thing that I personally want to have looks like everybody gets to have value in the group, and nobody's trying to like reach for something, you know, like there's not like a power differential. I'm really interested in groups where there's that everybody shares power, and yeah, that's what I like. And it's fun, and people feel like they belong, and people feel cared for. And I try to do this, like I try to build community where that happens to varying degrees of success, because you know we're all just human trying to do what we do, but that is what I aim for on a regular basis. So I do have a collective that I belong to now, and it is one that I helped build, and so I feel happy that I could kind of set the tone that way. And in our group, artists are very much different in terms of like on that continuum I was talking about. So some people are very interested in creating work that I would feel like describing as transcendent, perhaps. And then other people are looking to create work that is extremely approachable, and that people are just like, oh, I want to buy that, you know. And everybody in our collective, I feel, is just doing something interesting. That is so exciting to me, that we are so different, and yet everybody's got a very clear point of view, and like I love that, you know. I love it. So great, you know. And we're all just making stuff happen together. So this is something that I have always wanted, and it's happening now, and so I feel very lucky. And I want to say that as you are thinking about, okay, where do I want to head? Like, for example, if the thing that I just said to you, where I was describing that there is this collective and we're working together and it's really cool, do you feel envious of that? Because that envy is extremely useful information. I don't know about you, but I noticed that envy is like a rudder for me. It is like a compass. If I am talking to somebody and I realize, oh, wow, that sounds so cool. I wish I had that, or I wish I was doing that. Well, guess what? It's time to look at that and consider, well, maybe I should be doing that. So if that sounds cool to you, that might be something to add to your list of things that you know about yourself. You know? In summary, full-time passionate professional, academic adjacent, maybe interested in contributing to culture, interested in being part of the conversation, you know, in our current zeitgeist, I guess, and interested in creating art community, and conceptual, kind of fine art vibes, but also feeling the priority of being very accessible, affordable art, inclusive, radically friendly. Oh, and of course, with color as a very central focus in the actual work. But that particular piece, that last piece, that's going to come in part 2 of this quiz. So I'm going to do another video where I'm going to ask, what kind of artist are you? But it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to focus more on your actual art. So thank you for joining me on this reflection journey today. And this is, of course, the time of the video where I will be sharing the analytics for the week for how this YouTube channel is doing. Well, this is blowing my mind. I have now 950 subscribers, making it only 50 subscribers away from having 1,000, which is the first half of the requirement for monetizing this channel. And I'm very grateful, and I also take this very seriously. So I intend to create videos that are useful to you, hopefully. And yeah, thank you so much. So as far as number of watch hours goes, I'm at something around, I think, 560. And that is a long way to go before 4,000. What is that? Like a little over eighth of the way. So I know based on things that people tell me that these numbers tend to compound as new people start to discover the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today and really going there and reflecting on your practice and where you are right now. And I hope that you found this useful. And I really would love to hear from you if you're interested in sharing where you are right now in your practice. Hope you have a great week, and I will talk to you soon.